What's up, guys? This is going to be my video review for the 2013 Kawasaki Gsxr. First year they brought, or the first year they brought back the 636. I believe they stopped it back in 2005 or 2006. But I'll be breaking this review down into 4 portions. It'll be engine, suspension, braking, and then comfort and my pros and cons of what I think about this motorcycle will be the 4th part of it. Also, I'm running the M4 GP style exhaust, and unlike the one from my Suzuki, this one is a 3/4 or a half system, however you guys wish to call it, because it does remove the cat. Well, the cat and the muffler are one piece, and I don't have a, I'm running without the baffle, sorry, and no cat. So this is not the way it sounds from the factory. I'm gonna try and keep it in 6th gear as much as possible, just so you guys hear me over the exhaust. No cat, and then no baffle in the muffler, so it does get loud. For you guys that have this motorcycle and you're trying to or you want to get this exhaust, if you do a lot of highway, you're gonna probably want earplugs. Yeah, this thing is loud. But moving on, 636. If you guys have ridden the regular 600s, one I can compare it best to is going to be the 2013 Yamaha R6. I drove that, and compared to this, you notice the extra torque down low. You know, you think, oh, an extra 37 cc's, you won't notice it, or it's just all hype. 2012 year was 599 cc's. That's why I'm saying an extra 37 cc's. You do notice a difference down low and throughout the rev range. It's noticeable. It's different. It's not as much as a Gsxr 750. I have a 2013 of that, but it's more than a 600 for sure. So it's not just all hype and gimmick and whatnot. I have, I believe, 1,700 or so miles on it. Yeah, 1,726 miles. I've had it for about almost a year. I think 10 or 11 months or so. I've only had 2 problems with it. When I first got it, I brought it home. I went to a dealership, same place I bought the Suzuki at, 70 miles away from my house. And when I got it home a couple days later, you know, it was cold out in the morning, and I tried to drive it. This happened to me twice. It shut off on me. I turned it on. It was at almost operating temperature, about 115 or 120 degrees. I started trying to go, you know, I pulled the clutch in, gave it a little throttle, but it shut off on me twice. 2 different occasions, I should say. Brought it back to them. They fixed that issue. It wouldn't idle right. I'm not sure if other people have had that problem with these motorcycles, but it wouldn't idle right. I took it to them. They fixed it. The second issue, after picking it up on the way home, I'm not sure what happened or what they did, but the next time I went out to ride it after parking it from coming back from the dealership, there was oil under it. So it was leaking from the oil pump. That's what they ended up telling me. And the thing with that one was, it was pretty scary actually, because once I got to the dealership, I noticed that the rear tire was filled with oil. So unlike in the garage where it would just strip down to the floor, I guess when I was riding it, the oil would get onto the tire. I'd ridden clearing it once before that happened, and then no oil got on the tire. I thought maybe, you know, they might have topped off the oil and it was coming out the breather tube. So I went to go ride it, and I left it for the night, where I went out again, and that's when I noticed the oil again. So I knew I had to take it back to them. But the first time there, no oil got on the tire. But when I drove it over there, mostly freeway, thank God, I noticed when I parked there, right there in front of the dealership, the whole rear tire was just filled with oil. And I was like, God damn, you know, what if I had gone through like a canyon or something like that? Lean the bike over, you know, motor oil on a rear tire. I'm sure that would have been all bad. But besides those two problems, it's been great. 1,700 miles. My brother rides this motorcycle. I only have about 600 to 700 miles on it of city commute, or city driving and highway driving. Never been a problem with me. I went down through the 91 one time, 91 freeway here in Southern California. It was around 5 o'clock p.m. and those of you guys that know the area, you know, 5 to 8 p.m. people getting off work, the 91 is bad. It is all bad. But I'm in California, I get a lane split. So I was lane splitting, and the only reason I mention it is because I was in first gear while lane splitting. I don't go flying through cars, you know, just at a steady pace. I'm trying to get home safe. And the whole time I was maybe at 6,000 RPM, 6,000 to 8,000 RPMs, around there. First gear, just so they could hear me coming. And it was at above 210 degrees the whole time. 210 degrees for over 30 minutes. Never, I got home, not a problem, didn't overheat, nothing. That's the reason I mentioned that. It rode, you know, perfect. Can't complain. I will say, when I got it ticket to get the 600 mile service done, I did take it to the dealership, but I did the oil change myself. Did the oil change myself. I had really good experience with Gsxr on the Suzuki. This, whatever's the clutch system, the clutch setup and the transmission setup and the oil they have set up on this bike from the factory, it was good. No complaints there. But I switched it over to Gsxr full synthetic just because I had a really good experience with the Suzuki. But the Suzuki did have problems with it. The shifting was more clunky than this. It was also an improvement, not as dramatic as with the Gsxr, but it was an improvement over the factory oil that Kawasaki runs in it. So I was happy with it. Just to let you guys know, maybe a full synthetic. I know Gsxr, you'll probably notice it. That's good stuff. It's expensive, but it's good. I noticed the difference. Then besides the 600 to 700 miles I have ridden on this, I have at least 500 track miles on it. The rest are from my brother. But at 500 track miles, you know, you put a bike through its paces, you know, at the track. Never had a problem at the track. They're 20-minute sessions where I run. You know, couple trips there, couple trips. Never had a problem once with it. Always fired, always ran great. I do change the oil after every track day though. That's just something that I like to do, and I also flush the brake system every single time as well. I've changed the pads. That was because of me though. I wanted a different pad compound. But it's been a solid bike for those of you guys that commute. You know, I think that says a lot right there. 500 track miles, never had a problem. Over 30 minutes of lane splitting, over 210 degree temperature running, never had a problem there. So if you guys, and it's not that uncomfortable. I found the R6 far more uncomfortable than this. It's not as comfortable as the Gsxr, but it's not as bad as the R6. I think it's a perfect balance. And 6th gear, You know, if you're on the highway and you gotta make, you know, go around a truck, a semi, a car, slow car, or anything, you don't have to downshift. I mean, it'd help. You know, you'd take off on anyone, but you don't really have to downshift. It's again, the 37 extra cc's. It's really noticeable. It helps. I'm running an air filter, a BMC air filter, the catless M4 exhaust with no baffle in it, and a Power Commander 5. Wait, yeah, Power Commander 5. It put down, I believe it was 116 miles, or not 116 horsepower, 48 foot-pounds of torque, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't want to put that exhaust in it because it was removing the cat. I didn't want to leave it running like that and, you know, driving everywhere. So I got that done. That's what if I remember correctly, that's what it put down. But the throttle, I didn't ride it stock for that long, so I'm not sure if the throttle improved or anything. And I didn't take it to the track until after I had an exhaust. I do put the baffle in place, the stage 2 silencer, when I go to the track. But I can't say I noticed a huge difference or anything, because I really didn't drive it all that much or really put it through its paces before the 600 miles. So can't really comment on that. Solid engine, I'm happy with it. Next up is suspension. Got the big piston forks from Showa, separate function forks. And after about 80 miles, once the odometer read like 80 miles, I took it to the same shop I took my Gsxr to get the suspension tuned in or dialed in for city driving. And it's pretty soft from the factory, but it's a noticeable difference. For those of you guys that like to commute, mostly, you know, commuting, not track, I'd say go get it dialed in for street riding and your weight, and you'll notice a difference. Also, once I started going more to the track, I had them redo it. You know, 170 pounds is what I weigh to the track, though, for a track setup. And it's stiffer, obviously, but you know, it helps. It's different. And then see what else. I'm not sure what kind of rear shock it comes with. You know, you could put shims in it to raise it a little bit and whatnot. I haven't done that. I'm comfortable with the ride height of it. I'm 5'9" and a half, 5'10". I'm still able to put both my feet flat on the ground. You know, if you guys were, in case were wondering if you fit on it, I'm 5'10", 5'9" and a half, 5'10". Both feet flat on the ground. Has stop lights and whatnot. Don't have a problem. But yeah, I think that sums it up for that was the engine. Now suspension. I think that's it for suspension. Oh, tires. I'll add tires into this. It's the Bridgestone Battle X S20s. And those tires are pretty good. When I go to the track, I switch them out to I have them switched out, I should say, for the Bridgestone BT003 RSs. So these tires really only have maybe 1,000 miles or so, maybe a little more. And, you know, they're great tires around town and whatnot, and they're a definite improvement over the BT016 that come on the Suzukis. They're an improvement over that for sure. I know just they don't slip as much as those do. So that's a good thing. I actually ended up getting the S20s for my commuter bike, the Gsxr. And these tires are pretty good. If you go to the track and you start riding fast, you probably move up to something a little stickier. But I'm sure these will handle a track day just fine. Anyways, that sums it up for suspension. Oh man, I forgot something on the engine. I'll tell you guys. No, I'll leave that to the end. It's the modes and traction control, but I'll leave that at the end. I'll move on to brakes. It comes with the Nissan single piston rear caliper and a monoblock Nissan front 2-piston front caliper. For the 2012 Gsxrs, they were two-piece calipers up front, if I'm not mistaken, and then 2013 they got the monoblock. I'm really happy with the brake setup they have on this. The Gsxr that I have, I've taken that to the track only once, and the Brembos, this was before I changed the lines and did the brakes, but man, those brakes are horrible. Not every bike, I'm sure mine had some air in the lines, because I changed to stainless steel lines and did the flush myself, so I can't comment if it fixed it or not. But these brakes compared to my 2013 750, despite them being Brembos, this brake's a lot better from the factory. Again, my Gsxr was bad, but these are phenomenal. I plan on adding stainless steel lines to it eventually down the road, but man, these are good brakes, really good brakes. Really good brakes. The rotors are good. Damn, I forgot the name of the rotors off the top of my head, but they're really solid rotors. They stop so much better than the Gsxr that I have. And see what else? The rear brake, yeah, it works, it does its job. You don't use it much. Most of the stopping power comes from the front, but is what it is, and that's really it for brakes. Really good brakes. I love that. Let's see, before I get into comfort, I'm gonna go back on something about the engine. It comes with the FCC slipper clutch. FCC is just the manufacturer of the clutch, and I will say it is phenomenal. That's the other thing. The brakes and the clutch on this bike is what I love the most. Brakes, clutch, and how nimble it is. Damn, I skipped that on the suspension. But the two power modes are, full and low. If you maybe just bought it, I know a lot of people hop onto these motorcycles, the super sport class, as their first bike. I just put it in low, and just take it easy till you're really comfortable with it, and you'll be all right. I don't recommend it, but you'll be, just treat it with respect and you'll be all right. I'm sure that's the reason why they put the low modes as well. Or if you ride in the rain, you go on the low mode. I'm not sure how much power it cuts off, but it is noticeable compared to the full, which I have it on now. And it also has 3 different modes for traction control, 3 being the one that intervenes the most, and 1 being the least intervene. And then you could also switch it off. I leave it on 1. I'm happy with it. It doesn't intervene as much. The way I ride it, 2 and 3 do intervene a lot more than I like. So I'll either have it in 1 or off. But that clutch, man, that thing, the lever pull on this is so easy. It's smooth. You guys do a lot of traffic, I'm sure you'll love it. Or go through a lot of traffic, I should say. Pulling it in at the stoplights and whatnot, so easy. Then I'll move on to just the last part of, just what I think about it. And I think it's a phenomenal motorcycle. It's really nimble. It's really flickable, far more flickable. Feels a lot lighter than the Gsxr. I believe it's only like a 6-pound difference too from the 750 and this one. But this one feels a lot more flickable and nimble. And the turns and the track, this is why I like riding this far more. This thing just easy turn-ins. There's side-to-side transitions. All that stuff is really smooth, really easy. Feels really light. I love it. If you're going to be driving aggressively, definitely recommend this bike for the track. Not bad. Another thing for mirrors, that's a big difference with my Gsxr as well. These are far better. I have the Alpine Stars, their new GP Tech suit on right now, and I'm not seeing my elbows as much. With the Gsxr, all I do is see my elbows. These are actually more adjustable and they're wider route, so they're actually useful. Then if you do commute a lot on the highway, you probably want a bigger windscreen. But the only thing I could see someone might complain about is the front, or no, I'm sorry, not the brake lever. The brake lever is adjustable. I believe 6 positions. However, the clutch lever isn't, you know, one size fits all kind of deal. That's fine. I'm okay with it. One thing I don't like is pretty much the only thing I don't like is that to move through the modes, I have to dig in here. On my Suzuki, I have it over here by the throttle. Makes it really easy. But that's the only thing. Other than that, this bike is really awesome. I love it. I paid $12,000 for it out the door with the extended warranty. Sure, some of you guys might have got a better deal, maybe paid a little more, I don't know. But I'm happy with the purchase I made and the product that I got, the price I paid for it. You know, as long as you're happy with that, you know, props to you. I'm gonna do a quick pull right here for you guys. Sums it up for me, guys. I'll do a quick pull in 6th gear. Just I'm doing 64 right now. Maybe move it up to 80 or so, just to show you guys how easy it is. Here, I'll do 61. Right there, 61 to 84. You don't have a problem moving around cars. But thank you guys for watching. For those of you guys that ride safe, you know, be careful. I'm sure there's someone at home that loves you and cares about you. Just think about them. Anyway, see you guys. Thank you guys for watching.